Hi there. Thanks so much for joining us as we get to know Jacki Hunt of RE/MAX Centre Realty a little bit better. Jacki is one of our many awesome agents, and I don't want to keep her from you any longer. So Jacki, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So Jacki, how long have you been in real estate?
Maybe longer than you've been on this earth.
Maybe. How long?
40 years.
Well, I'm not going to answer, but I appreciate you answering. That is an awesome amount of time and experience and help that you've been able to provide to buyers and sellers. So thank you. Now, what did you do before real estate? Was there a before real estate?
There was a before real estate. I taught junior high school music, and I did a lot of substitute teaching. I also got a master's degree in counseling. I never actually got a job that required that, but I was interested in that and would have possibly gone down that road. But it was in the 70s and there weren't a whole lot of jobs around because there were too many of us baby boomers grabbing them up. So I got into real estate for what I thought was going to be a temporary thing. And here I am 40 years later.
Wow. Well, I must disagree. I mean, I feel like you probably use your counseling knowledge and degree often within real estate.
I do.
I feel like I've heard you say before, and let me know if I heard you incorrectly, but that, real estate is really just like teaching.
It is. It is. There's a lot to learn, and people don't understand that until they're into it. It's, they just think, oh, I'm going to sell this house, or more likely it's people buying than selling. We're ready to buy, and they don't know all the steps that are there. And even sellers don't understand the selling process until they've gone through it.
So what is it that you love about real estate that's kept you in it for so long?
I love helping people. I love teaching and counseling, and that's what I do. I don't sell. I just don't sell. I teach and counsel.
So Jacki, I'm sure there are many, but is there a real estate memory that just you'd love to share with us?
Yeah, there's one. And if they see this, they'll know who they are. I had a couple that I sold a house to when they first came to town. And they had a child, and they were expecting a second child. And they'd been in the house, I think maybe 4 or 5 years. And so the wife went to see a house on a Sunday, open house, that had been on the market when they bought their house. And she loved it then, and she loved it even more now. And now they could afford it. But her husband wasn't along. So he called me up and said, she's really excited about this house. Would you show it to me? Because I need to remember it better. I said, sure. So we went, and I knew it was the wrong house for a family with little kids. Open staircases, tiny little closets, no place to store stuff, just not working for a family with a couple of toddlers. Well, one toddler and one on the way. So I said to him after we went through it, I'll write the contract if you two decide you really want this house, but this is not the right house for you at this point in your life. And I just have to tell you that, and these are the reasons why. And he said, would you go home and tell my wife? I said, sure. So we went back, and there she was, 8.5 months pregnant, and the 1.5-year-old on the floor playing. And I told her what I had said to him. And she said, okay, I understand. And when I got home and I told my husband that I didn't write a contract that I could have written, he said, what is the matter with you? And I said, it was the wrong house. And I just won't do that if I can avoid it. So a couple years later, I sold them their next house, which was a much more appropriate house, a much nicer house. And they told everybody they knew, boy, Jacki won't sell you a house if she doesn't think it's the right house for you. And I heard from so many people that they really, understood how I worked and respected it. So I didn't lose any money on that one.
I love that you cared about the people as well as the circumstance and the outcome, and not necessarily just about the sale. So that's awesome. Right. So Jacki, if I'm staying in the State College area, right? How
Mhm.
many houses do you think I can expect to like live in, buy, sell?
Well, this same couple actually, because I told them this story.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't leave the area, you'll buy 4 houses. The first house is the one that you can barely afford. You're going to eat beans and weenies for weeks, but you get into it. The second house, now you got a couple of kids, you need more space. And it's still a stretch, but you can make the stretch. But again, it's beans and weenies for a while. The third house is after the kids are grown and gone, you're done with college, you got more money, and you can buy something that's, you know, really cool that you would like at this point. The fourth house is the retirement house. It's the house that may not be all that much smaller than the house you're in right now, but it's different. It's different sizing. And that's the fourth house. I'm not sure that's still quite the case, because I've been seeing a change in that people will tend to take that second house and then spend their money on updating it instead of buying that third house. They'll put in a new kitchen. And I think a lot of that comes from the shows on TV where they get ideas and think, well, this is what I'll do. And that's not a bad way to go. They just have to be careful that they don't over improve, unless they expect to be in the house for the rest of their lives. And then who cares?
Yeah,
You know?
just enjoy it. But that's another good reason to call someone like you and talk through those options in that plan.
Right. Right. In fact, when people are thinking about doing some things, sometimes they do call me, and it's really helpful, because sometimes I'll just say, hey, yeah, that's great. If you want to sell it in a couple of years, you'll be fine. Other times it's like, this is really just for you. Just understand that it's just for you. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just for you.
I love it, Jackie. I feel like now I'm going to call you when I need to go over something difficult with my husband. And, and so will a few other people. And I'm going to call you when I have a renovation idea to see if I should be. So thank you. Thank you for all the future help you're going to give me. Now, Jackie, as we wrap up things here, you've given us some awesome real estate information and memories, advice as well. But you did mention beans and weenies. So let's learn just a little bit more about Jacki Hunt in particular. Jackie, what is your favorite meal of the day?
Actually, it's dinner. I like the variety. My husband does 90% of the cooking. I do the baking. And he's a really good cook. Not that I'm not a good cook. He just prefers cooking, and I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. But we, you know, even in this pandemic, we have eaten very well. And I enjoy good food, and so does he. So it's a fun time every evening.
Good. Dinner. It's a great answer. Jackie, well, thank you so much for spending time with us. I'm sure people will reach out to you if they have any real estate questions. They'd love to bounce off of you. But otherwise, you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You as well.
Bye, Jackie.
Bye-bye.